Welcome to the garden. The terrarium is just extraordinary. We're getting new fiddleheads. Look at that. That's a brand new frond. Even though we have tons of them already, they completely fill the jar now. It looks like a jungle in here now. Everything's kind of intertwined at the canopy. And there is a little bit of separation between the canopy and the undergrowth. It's kind of interesting. It's like a little biome. We've really got some great root growth. So much so that there are these filament fiber things. Pretty sure those are roots and not some kind of fungus, but they could be. The fern, which is there in the center, really isn't doing much, but I'm still holding out hope. Hoping it'll still sprout. But besides those little white roots, we have roots over here from our creeping Charlie. This thing is spreading all the way across and is now setting down these fuzzy little roots. Produces those fuzzy white little roots, starting to try and drive down through that moss. Actually very beautiful. Looks like they're growing really fast. So the creeping Charlie is spreading like crazy. Here's our little clover thing, or wood sorrel. Still tiny, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. I don't want that to spread too much, but I do like the variety. Our dandelions are doing good. If we can get those to flower too, that would just be lovely. My seaweed moss looks amazing. It's one of my favorites, I think. All the plants over here, they've really got some nice roots. Look at the pattern on some of those. Got all the way down to the very bottom. So these help me absorb that moisture when I overwatered a few days ago. I've got the lid off right now because it's in some sun, and I'm going to be trimming some of these back. These are the ones that have those star-shaped flowers. I've had the lid off for a couple hours, so they've straightened out, but usually they're kind of crammed into the jar like this, which is really not ideal. They started growing up into the cap of the jar a few weeks ago, and now they've really started to take over. So I'm just going to really give them a haircut. There's a little bit of creeping Charlie in here too, so that could also use a trim. But I'm just really simply just going to cut them all like that. So we've given them a little haircut, and now they'll fit in the jar much better. This little guy can kind of just get tucked in. But hopefully then they'll kind of fill this space that they've started to outgrow. We've got a new sprout over here. I think it's a wood sorrel. Wood sorrel really looks like clover, but it's actually a little bit different. These seeds end up all over the garden, so it's really no surprise that one ended up in the terrarium. I'm just going to let it go. I actually really like those. They're even edible. They kind of taste citrusy. So I think that's a fun little plant. But the rest of the terrarium is just incredible. Look at all this amazing greenery. It's so lush in here. And the ferns are just extraordinary. They've really taken over. We've got a couple of new little sproutlings right over there, so we'll keep an eye on those. It's just fascinating how stuff just emerges. Little creatures decide to show up and little sprouts pop up. I haven't seen my isopod yet today, but I really hope he's still in there. I can always get another one too. They live under rocks and leaves, and the one that is in here was actually crawling around my basement. I bet those trails are everywhere. They just really show up when the condensation forms. But I actually kind of like it. I think it looks great. We can just take a deep dive in here. Look at this. So there's the fern over here. It's really kind of struggling, but I'm still holding out hope for it. But just look at how beautiful this is. Everything was trimmed up the other day, so it all fits in the jar. But my goodness, it's just amazing. So I'll keep you posted on anything that flowers or changes over time. I really appreciate you guys following along with this little series. And I'm going to be starting some new terrariums pretty soon. So I hope you stay tuned for those. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.